Right. So the idea is these old Motorola. It's P020. It's a cut down version of the GP2000s. You can't program it on the front. The idea is to get all these batteries packed, lithium ion batteries, into here. The reason why I stopped using these things was because the batteries were just useless. Those nickel metal hydrides were useless. Even when it said it was half full and you want to transmit, you don't even get to say one word and the thing's already switched off and rebooted itself. So I eventually gave up, and I want to get them going again. I mean, at least they don't feel like a toy like those Chinese models that I've bought since then. I mean, they're very good, but anyway. But the biggest problem is getting these batteries, cutting them open, because they are so well glued in there. It took me a whole day. I managed to get two open. You can get, if you can cut down the side, because it clips in, it kind of overlaps on the side, on the two sides. So you can loosen the two sides, and then you can't get in from the bottom. So you're probably going to have to cut with a Dremel or maybe a hacksaw or whatever, just a little bit. Let's see on here. There's a small slot across the top. Yeah, it's not really noticeable, but at least you can get in there, crack it open. I found that this cheap plastic tool, unlike my proper one, you can actually just get the nib to stick out just a little bit and lock it in place. So then you can dig it in. You can dig it in on the side and then tap it all the way down if you dig it in nicely. These ones I actually managed to get apart. There's the lip. The lip is down there, so it actually clips in. You can't cut that way. You have to cut down and not too far. And it literally took me the whole day. You need lots of patience. This was the first attempt. Tried blowtorch. I soaked it in petrol or gas overnight. That was a complete dog's breakfast. So that was the first attempt. These batteries are now a little bit longer than the ones that are in here. They are I don't know if you can see that. They 14500, 3.7 volts, 800 milliamps. I started with 800 milliamps. They're cheap enough. You can get a higher capacity if you like. But they do fit in here with a squeeze, so it's going to be quite tight. Yeah, so I'll have to see how it goes, but they do go in somehow. And then I'm going to, if I can do that, I bought some of this, what is the stuff? It's nickel plated strip. And what you're supposed to join them together, because there's no place for soldering on here. And then there's lots of videos on YouTube about how to make a contraption to weld them together with a spark plugs and pencils and batteries and pen light battery, all kinds of. So I'll give that a bash. And I got these little circuits. This is the charging circuit, constant voltage, constant current. You can set it to whatever you like. I'll probably set it to about, I have 2400 milliamps, so 800 milliamps is probably fine in this lithium. So they're cheap as chips. I paid $50 for this thing, and that was from an electronic shop. $50 is about, I don't know, $3.50 US. You'll probably get it cheap on eBay. And I've got the balancing circuit, 20 amps it says, but I don't trust it. Also about $50. You'll get it on $3 or less on eBay. I'm sure of it. And my idea is to put it in this charger, the aftermarket charger that I got, because mine packed up in the late 90s, 2000s, and I mean, if I pull the guts out, there's tons of space in here. I'm sure I'll be able to do it. Not sure about the original. This one's got a lot less space on it. Maybe. Haven't taken it apart yet to find out, so we'll see. But that's the plan. So looking from the top, you can see it's got 3 connections to the battery. 2 on the left hand side, 1 on the right hand side. So you can see on here, there's a connection needs to be made between the middle of the 2 batteries. Okay, I've got 3, but the 2 banks of cells through to the control board for the battery balancing, I suppose, so I can balance each set of batteries independently. And I'm going to use the middle pin on the battery that used to be used on the old NiCads and nickel metal hydrides, the center pin through to the charger to the control board. I got the 2 battery packs welded together. I had to buy a machine to do it because I tried a whole pile of those YouTube videos of how to do it, and it's all bullshit. You're not going to weld these batteries together with a penlight battery and a spark plug or a pencil or anything. I tried. Sure, it welds, but you're just going to land up making holes, welding holes right through the thing, and it doesn't stick to the batteries. So they're liars, or they know a trick that I don't. Bought this machine, it was more than I wanted to buy. So now I need to get these things packed into the battery pack, which is going to be easier said than done, I think. But we shall see. Well, I eventually got this thing together, and to close, more specifically, which is great. Slowly. Okay, this green wire, this little wire here is loose, goes into the middle between the 2 batteries, but I've just left it off for now, otherwise I can't open the case. So I'll do that when I close it up finally. These wires that they have the back here were so fat, I couldn't close the cover. So I got the thinnest wires I could find. It's actually Cat5 cable wires, but that's fine because it's just the charging that comes through here. I've decided to use charger 300 milliamps, and that will take about 8 hours to charge 2400. So that's overnight, that's fine. It's probably better for the batteries as well. The I've got two thermal fuses in the middle here. These two banks are not together at all in the middle here. I've actually got a piece of plastic that was on another pack that I opened. It's just a piece that goes in the middle, sticky on one side, just so that the cells don't touch each other there. So the only path between the two is through these two fuses around here. So if either of them pop, that will break the circuit, cut off the radio, and if it's in the charger, cut off the charger as well. And it's because the control circuit for overcurrent and everything else is all sitting inside the charger. So when it's on the radio itself loosely, then I've got nothing. And I know that these things have got their own built-in protectionals. So they say they use them everywhere in kids' toys and whatever. So they're probably good, but I don't want this thing exploding on me like a pager. So rather safe than sorry. The only thing is they are 75 degrees, which I think might be a bit low. So I must remember not to leave them in a hot car in the sun, because they'll easily reach over 75 degrees. And then I'm going to have to open the whole thing again to replace the fuse. Although I don't intend to glue it back all that well like it was. But it copied. I mean, the tip for the belt is on this cover, so you can't use completely shit glue either. Must be able to hold that. Yeah, so I'm going to put it together now and then charge it up, stick it in the radio. I'm a little bit worried that it's 8.4 volts fully charged, and the nickel metals would have been about, I don't really know, 7.8, 7.9. So it's a couple of millivolts more than what it should be. I hope nothing pops on the radio. We'll see if it takes out my finals or not. Anyway, let's take it from here. Alright, doing it back together wasn't a big deal. Yeah, got it. Yeah, there was almost a bug up. Forgot this little clip at the top, and I already put the glue on, so that was a close call. And I got the controller and the charger into this original charging block, which is quite nice. Okay, it's blue now because I just used the LEDs that are on there on the board, and I just moved them. These aren't the LEDs; these are just bits of perspex or plexiglass, whatever you call it. The LEDs are shining from underneath. And I'm glad I did, because I'd forgotten how good the quality of these things actually sound. They're really loud and clear, and the range is actually, even with the crappy antennas, they're not bad. They were never high-end models. I don't know why, because I mean, these things, okay, they've been sitting in a drawer for 15 years, but the first 5-10 years of their life, they were dropped and abused like any other radio. But I just had broken antennas, broken chargers, and the like. So I'm not entirely sure why the critics didn't think they were very good. Yeah, it was a good project. I get 30 hours standby time and about 10 minutes talk time. I left them on. Every time I walked past it, I would try and transmit for 15 seconds. And I lost track of how many times I did that. But 30 hours and a little bit of talking, and that's without the battery saver on. I don't even know what the battery saver is supposed to do. But obviously, yeah, I mean, I suppose you'll get longer with that. And yeah, the battery meter is not going to be all that great because it doesn't understand these batteries that are in here now. So the accuracy of that isn't good, but it does warn you towards the end that it's running out of battery power. It turns red and bleeps a few times, but you don't have much time. When it gets to the end of these things, then they die very quickly. So I want to show you something else. Now I'm going to do. I'm still going to do the other one, but this is from a UV5R, 1800 milliamp hour. It's got the circuit on the back. It's like the whole thing in here. You'll get two of them in by the look of it. There's still quite a whack of space in. I don't think you get three, but you definitely get two. Get this thing back together. Yeah, no, it closes fine all the way around. There's no issue there. You'll get them in. It's cheating, but you're still going to have to open this case. Once you've opened the case, well, it doesn't really matter what you do. Yeah. Okay, thanks for watching. Ciao.